History between these two teams. You can see that Purdue has dominated in the series. See what happens here tonight as Michigan took the first back up in Ann Arbor in October. Michigan on the attack. In the middle they go, and they come through with a nice hit. The kill goes to Logan Bauer.
Bauer with a great swing on that one. Seeing that her defense for Purdue was way too far up, she hit that deep, which will work against this Purdue defense.
She hit 410 last night in their victory. Early on, nice block of the net by the Wolverines. And that was the question I had, Elizabeth. How tired would Michigan be after playing a five-setter that included a fifth set that went 24-22?
That's a really good point, especially against the Illinois team who was so strong. So that match last night could not have been easy for either team.
So on the outside, and good job that time. Fighting the opening is Gideon Morale, the 6'4" senior of the Indiana.
Every time she goes up, Brandon, she swings as hard as she can, almost every single time, but is also a smart player who can read the court very well.
Here's serving now for the Boilermakers. Right ahead and board here, the Big Ten Network. Nice slide out time, but good get in the back row by Purdue. Here's a late pad to the line just yesterday, and the ball handling error by Michigan in the back row allows Purdue to score again.
Wow, back-to-back kills, calling for the ball every single time. We talk about these seniors on the Purdue team. They really lead this team, and they're hoping to turn the second part of their Big Ten season.
The trial of seniors listed to lead this team 4 straight times. This team has made it to the NCAA tournament, but they're looking for better things this year. They had a chance for that one with Sales wide, not a bounce. And Michigan now early 3-2 as a substitution now for each squad, including for Purdue, is checking into this match. There's out of Mishawaka, Indiana, and Penn High School, the land of Kingsman. We took it around this one. Serving for Michigan, and they go to Morale again over there. Michigan trying to count. And a surprise move that time. National duck that time. Purdue by Jacqueline Hart.
And let's look at this replay, because Jacqueline Hart, we talked about earlier, her back's been hurting her. She got to sit out this week and practice for a little bit. A great offensive play that will catch Michigan off guard. But look for Michigan to keep looking for that later in these games.
We're tied at 3. In fact, you mentioned it, Hart with that back injury. Probably this is 2 days of practice, Elizabeth, every week just to rest that back.
Was exactly what Purdue did.
Carrie Brunell out of Texas comes through with a big one there for the Boilermakers, and Purdue now up 4-3. You can see the notation of both of these teams are in the top 20. You could put a hat over, I think, second to about 7th place right now in the Big Ten. Back row attack. Headed far side, and they threw it off the block that time. We should mention what that back row attack does. I know it gives the middle blocker something to think about, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It throws teams off a little bit off their guard. I've been seeing it so much more in the Big Ten and all the broadcasts. I keep saying that, but it is a great out-of-system play where if the ball doesn't go directly to the setter and she has 3 options, she can throw it into the back row, especially when 35 allows back in.
Lynch comes through with the honors that time for the Boilermakers.
Stephanie Lynch with a perfect set by Hart, a cross court. She loves to hit that slide.
And there is Stephanie Lynch, honorable mention All-American the last 2 years, and a lot of people think that maybe last year she could have been at least second too. As Bruck comes through with the kill that time. She had 11 kills last night in that 5-setter against the Lions. United 5. Get by Michigan, and they go for the touch shot at the net. The size both of these teams possess in front will be interesting to see who can really joust at the net, because both of these teams can play physical style of volleyball.
Definitely both of them have a very strong block.
Free ball this time for Michigan. The back set. They got the ball. A good get in the back there again, this time by Morale. This hit that time by Kelly Miller. Morale kind of surprises you in the back row, even though Purdue doesn't come up with that point, that she will make that rotation pretty much all the way around.
Well, she doesn't come out of the game ever.
It's amazing.
She plays all the way around at 6'3".
Purdue has a setter, too, that can go 6'1". They also have defensive specialists that can go 6'3", so they're going to have size. Look at that hammer that time. Cross court. Counter that time for Carrie Brunell. She had off-season shoulder surgery, but she looked pretty healthy on that one.
And, in the past couple games that I've seen her play, she's not been playing to her potential. That's exactly what she needs to do. Split the block. Her middle block did not close. She needs to take advantage of that every single time.
Arthurs hit 700 last night, and for the layperson who touched on this, Elizabeth, it's like baseball. If you hit 250 or better, you're doing pretty well. So 700 for a match is phenomenal.
It's almost perfect, Randy.
7-6 Purdue in this one. Block to the net that time by Arthurs. Good block again. And in a microcosm, you see the difference between these two teams. Good team up on the outside for Purdue. Now also Arthurs, but Purdue is known for their blocking and defense, and Michigan known for their offense.
It is, and I watched this play with the rally, but watch Arthurs. Oh, you can barely see her, but she swing blocks, goes hip to hip, is so tall and is also so athletic. Presses her hands all the way over the net.
Now Michigan got the ball out. Mike Rosen can't believe it as he tries to confer with our first referee tonight, Steve Robb, who's up in the chair. Take a look at this one more time. 9-6, the tally in this one now. A little jump for that time. I'll tell you, that is very difficult, isn't it, for Janelle to make that block and not have a net violation at the same time.
And that's a good point, especially since her middle blocker was nowhere to be found. She just went one-on-one straight up.
Purdue with the early statement in this one, up 10-6 as the Rosen family congregates along the far side. Boilermakers with first blood. Stick around. This is just the start of this one. Purdue up in this one, set one. Two top 20 teams colliding here. Take a look at that play at the net and the great blocking by Purdue.
And Purdue all over net, closing every single time like I keep saying. But they're going one-on-one and still getting touches on the ball, which is what your coach always tells you to do. If you can't go straight on Randy and put the ball back on the other side, you at least get a touch to slow down.
This is contacts on Purdue and a point for Michigan. They creep back now to make it 10-7 in this contest in set number one. Serving now is Juliana Paz. But I'm impressed with her adjustment, going from JUCO to major college volleyball on the block after that time at a point for Purdue. But Paz is really performing extremely well in the game campaign.
She setting the open. She had 16 kills. She led her team. She was the reason they beat Minnesota.
11-7 Boilermakers up, and now it's Jessica Ulrich with the honors out of Wheaton North. We mentioned in the past that Wheaton seems to be a volleyball factory, good setter. Their defensive specialist, it seems like. In fact, Ulrich showing off right now. Pushed forward inside by Hart, and headed by Noel. Michigan trying to answer, looking for the drop up front. And now the Wolverines with the 3-1 at the net on the outside. There's Hunt, but she can hit you with that southpaw look.
She came right over her blocker's hand. If you hit that ball hard enough, it should be able to, if the ball is not going back on the other side of the net, it should be able to fall in on this side of the court.
Well, isn't it hard, too, when you got a southpaw on that side to figure out what they're going to do, because they can kind of block their arm, rather, from your vision as they come through with their swing. By Arthurs, and look at that.
I love how competitive Morale is. When I caught up with Coach Shondell at the Illinois game, he told me that his three seniors are starting to feel a sense of urgency, which I think is exactly what's happening on the court at home tonight.
12-8 to count now as Miller serves for Purdue. And you talk about the seniors, the steady influence of this team throughout. Probably, next to you, the most competitive person I've ever seen on the volleyball court.
And that should be that kill right there should be attributed to Kelly Miller. She's such a great libero, but she passes the ball perfect. Even when it's a tough hit, she gets out of the
They say it's out. The Wolverines do not agree. They make it now 13-9. Take a look. That's Merlano. That's a win.
Noticing that her defense was playing inside the outside line. She saw that line was open. She can hit cross court. She can hit line. She can tip. She has just multiple arm swings.
+4 in the kills category for the Boilermakers so far. +5 on the scoreboard. Nearly a double contact that time by Kelly Miller. Even with that, though, to kind of shoot up the timing and put him out of system.
That's exactly what it is. Kelly Miller playing a little bit too far up. If you notice that ball hit her upper arm. It's never a good pass.
As a setter, where does a setter want to see the volleyball? How close to the net? 5 feet? 10 feet?
I would say about 5 feet, but definitely for Purdue, these girls have played with each other so well that they should know exactly where she wants the ball.
Push over that time, nicely done by Jacqueline Hart. I don't think she had many options. It was set too close to the net, so she said, I'll take it myself.
That's exactly what she said. She thought, you know, I can either hurt my back even more and try to save this ball, or I can just attack it.
As someone who broke their back, I can tell you it's not easy to bounce back from that, and I'm sure that's what she's going through right now. 15-10 in set one. Boilermakers up, good block at the net again by Purdue. Michigan trying to answer, looking for an opening in the back row. There's the punch that time by Lynch. But she sends it wide.
You know, when you're a middle blocker, as I was, just like Stephanie Lynch, when your timing is off even by a second, maybe, that's what can happen. When the ball is set either too high or too low. That time it was a little too low for her, so she went under the ball and it went out of bounds.
Bruck back in for the Wolverines, and Bush to serve. Good get in the back row that time by Miller. Lynch looked for the opening of the back row, couldn't find it that time with a push. And a back row push that time by Miller. They're trying everything right now. A good job by the Wolverines to hang in there and get the point in the back row.
And that's what you have to do when a rally that's going back and forth, with all these free balls. Somebody's got to put it away. And the quicker it is in the middle, the easier it is to catch the defense on the return.
Just my question, how toxic could it be to Michigan? They played 5 last night. Purdue played only 3. Michigan is very fresh here, and this one is a miss hit that time at the net by Burnett. And we'll have a timeout. Purdue up 15-13. Both teams with identical records overall at 18-5 on the season. That guy is very intense. You get more than just one highlight, and this hit by Morale in the back row. Big Ten tonight gives you all the information you need. I like to watch Friday night and go tailgating with those guys too. Now that the high school football season is over, I can watch it stay dry and stay warm and have a good time and find out what's happening in the Big Ten. 15-14 in this one. Michigan serving, creeping back on the slide. Nicely done that time by Purdue, trying to make sure they keep that fishing out too.
And the right side in the slide is working for both teams. But when Lynch is in there, she can hit a one ball, which is a fast ball in the middle. But she loves to hit that slide on that time. She saw her blockers weren't there to close and just split right in between them.
Numbers on Lynch as she serves with her team up by 2. And one time, Volleyball couldn't get it in the back row. Boy, great crowd here tonight. I got to tell you, Purdue, if you don't know it, number 5 in the nation when it comes to attendance for women's volleyball. And to get this correct, we're on the Beeman Court inside the Holloway Gymnasium, inside the Intercollegiate Athletic Facility on the campus of Purdue University.
I was wondering why you kept asking me that in the beginning. Where are we exactly? A lot of good information about that.
There's the average attendance of just over 3,200 in contest number 5 in the nation, and they just renovated this facility a couple of years ago. In fact, they're in the process of a $90 million revamp to Mack Arena right next door for basketball and other sports. And Purdue, with that service area, now taking the lead at 17-16, and Jacqueline Hart out of Stagg High School averages 9.94 assists per set entering this weekend's matches. Set it outside. Allows got it. Michigan out assisted now and a 3-1 for Purdue. Perry wants it again and sees the block at the net. Nicely done. But it sails wide. What Michigan gets right will get penalized.
Right, and her on that is in the back row right now, of course, because she's serving, playing really good defense. But because she is their main setter, if you notice on that, Kelly Miller-Rivero calls for the second ball every time because she knows that there's 3 available hitters and she wants them all to be able to hit.
And that's tough too with Hart. We said we don't know what her status will be on the second night. Kind of like Rory for Minnesota too. She's got a shoulder injury. She's a question mark. Brunel, right now for Purdue, wearing number 13, is coming back from a shoulder injury. She's kind of hit or miss as to how healthy she will be. Emotionally, she'll say that she's ready to go. Physically, you just never know. They go for the inside attack that time. Nicely done by Michigan. And there's a young lady that you talked about in the open, Juliana Paz, that has to be a factor tonight.
You're right, she has to be. Let's watch this replay, though. Watch her. That's a 2-ball, which is a high ball in the middle in all volleyball. The 1 and 2 is one's a quick set, 2 is the higher ball, and it catches the defense on the other team off guard because the middle goes first and they fake the defense out, and then Paz right there goes a little bit higher in the 2-ball and can place it perfectly.
She gets a service ace. She had 2 last night, along with 13 kills, 17 digs. We're tied at 18 in set number 1. Best of 5. And that violation call against Purdue given to Michigan, and the Wolverines at an opportune time will take the lead at a timeout on the court, with Purdue now trailing Michigan by 1 in this one, 19-18. We mentioned so much on the line in this one, and Purdue had really an easy night last night with Ohio State, and Michigan traveled to Illinois. They knew it was going to be a tough weekend, and despite the fact that they lost, I think Coach Rosen will tell you that his team played very well despite falling in set number 5, 24-22.
And Illinois is a really tough team. I've got to watch them twice this year. Playing 5 with them in their environment, Huff Hall is not an easy place to play, but it's got to be tough to pack up, drive here, prepare for a game the next day. It's tough.
Travel more than you do, I think. Take a look at the Big Ten teams right now, the top 25, and you start right at the top with Penn State and Wes Rosen Company. I don't think you want to give them the trophy just yet, but say that they will be probably representing the Big Ten in some way, shape, or form in the postseason, along with Minnesota, who slid a little bit in the last week or so. Illinois, good victory. Michigan, Purdue, and Wisconsin. You can see their marks so far. 6 teams in the top 25. We'll see what happens when the new poll comes out next week. But again, we talk about the strength of the Big Ten. There's really 2 conferences when I look at volleyball. I think of the Pac-10 and I think of the Big Ten. If anybody else tries to sell you something else, they're selling you something that is false.
Definitely. The Pac-10 is holding at 3, 4, 5, 6 spots right now in the overall top 25. But the Big Ten has been underrated this year, and I definitely 1 or 2 conferences.
Pause again for the Michigan Cause, up by 1. Who wants it? Cross. Get that pause in the back row. Drop it, power shot by Bauer. Bauer, a young lady, remember, that was out for about a week. She rolled her ankle on match point against Northwestern and missed the weekend. With the long-up a little bit. That's when I think they felt that Hunt, was the strong player that could play on the outside, and Michigan has improved their play, playing well at Illinois. Of course, Purdue with the best hitting performance of the season last night against Ohio State. So the system there for Purdue, another point for Michigan. So the Wolverines seem to be peaking at the right time. All while this lady has been serving. Juliana Paz to Iowa Western Community College, originally from Brazil. Again, Purdue giving Michigan an opportunity. And the rocket was launched that time by Hunt.
And Paz has been serving this entire time. When we caught up with Coach Shondell, he told us Michigan has the best servers in the entire conference. And that's where the game of volleyball starts and why Michigan is now going ahead.
They said when Hunt stuffed Brooke Beater early in a Minnesota match, they knew that she could be for real. Grinnell finds the opening, and that is the answer. The Purdue needed Curry and gives it for the Boilermakers.
That time Grinnell, seeing her defense going up, she's so athletic. Watch this, her 3-step approach. She just, sort of backs up just a little bit on her arm swing. Sometimes if you don't swing quite as hard, you can get that ball to trickle in.
Ulrich to serve. And it goes in the block here for Michigan.
The big Michigan block answering back, closing hip to hip in the middle, pressing over. That's probably the best block I've seen Michigan put up this year.
Brooke now has been heating up offensively as well, too. Carly with the block, hitting .378 over her last 5 matches coming into the weekend. 23-19 now in favor of the Wolverines. And hook that time the last. That was like Norman Ryan on stilts. That was a fastball that you're not going to answer.
I told you she was tough. She goes up. She sees that back corner is completely wide open. Gets right off the libero's forearms.
Bonoff was great in the back row, but she had no chance for that. Nice hit that time. Michigan a chance to creep within 1 point of set number 1. Purdue now not evenly spaced defensively. Michigan front with a rapid attack, and they try for the push, and they get it. Thanks to Lexi Zimmerman, another person I think that gets overlooked for what she can do in the front row, along with being a setter.
Good point, and right there she notices that Purdue is having all sort of miscommunications problems on these rallies, and she just wants this all to end, so she says, I'm going to take it upon myself to make this rally better and get the point.
Set point number 1 for Michigan, up 24-20 in this one. Serving. When in doubt.
When in doubt, definitely right now when her team is down, she wants that ball every single time, which is hard, especially when it's, match point 24-21. It takes a true leader to say, set me that ball every time.
Mandy Nichols out of Greenwood, Indiana, with the serve to the far side. Michigan comes up with the point as it sails wide, and Michigan will take set number 1. So it was Purdue early, and Michigan almost biding their time, playing like Penn State does sometimes in the first set, but they come back, they get strong, they get the block to be effective, and the Wolverines take set number 1 by a count of 25-21. But we have just
12, 13, 14. When he coached at Montana, he's been a legend in the state of Indiana forever.
Montana, a club team down in the Muncie area. Of course, Muncie Burroughs, another high school where the Shondells seem to matriculate from it, coach, and then cut their teeth there. And who else? We start the second set. So after Michigan got the first one by 4, let's see if Purdue has an answer. They're out of the system. And they got into it, and then took the fall into the same again. As you take a look at the numbers, it goes. And the Dukes favoring Purdue by 4. So far, aces for Michigan, and Paz was very effective with that string of serving she had late.
You get 3 aces, and it's on 3 points, which is easier and more effective than having that many more kills.
Not as if one apiece. Checks back in now for Purdue, and serving for Michigan will be Megan Bauer. Outside of the line, just off the block for the point for the Boilermakers.
Now using her middle blocker instead of her outside blocker on that time. Her coach usually tells you to use the outside lead, but she could tell that her middle blocker was not there all the way. Like I said, she goes up so strong every single time.
And Danita approaching a record that we'll touch on here in just a bit. On the slide this time. That's Cardiac, and all Cardiac does is come through. Sometimes you forget to mention that the style of players she is. She's not an example. She's not a long person on the court.
That's exactly what you can tell right there in her face. Even when she gets a big kill, they look to her for consistency. Every night she's going to come with the same attitude and the same face. But I'll tell you what, hitting the ball inside like that as a middle blocker is not easy to do.
Well, biggest fan on that one. Boy, she jumped and nearly touched it out for 10-3, 10-4. She's not that kind of elevation. By the way, in that first set, hitting percentages, again, Michigan at 256, Purdue at 231. Morlau had 5 kills. Hunt, Brock, and Bauer 3 apiece. A good balance for Michigan in that first set. As Lynch and company come through now to double up on the Wolverines early in set 2.
Lynch serving tough right over the net. If it clips the net, Randy, it's almost impossible to pass the ball to
Not a missing person, but setting her more, and Zimmerman finding the touch there and getting Michigan and getting Cardiac more involved in the offense as they go to the bench again. And once again, Maggie Bush comes in out of Toledo Christian to play in the back row. Her sister Emily is a volleyball star at Eastern Michigan. 4-3 Purdue here. On the back set. Block. I think Paz was surprised that she got it at first, and she tries to find it over the back row, and Juliana does.
That shows right there how athletic Paz is. If you notice, maybe she was blocked, and she just passed her ball right at the target, and then called for the outside high ball for the kill.
Bush with the honors again. Error, a little too strong. Purdue again to the bench for their substitution. Ayers rotation they go for. Michigan as well to the bench. As checking back in is Sloan Donoff. Donoff, boy, has really seen her play escalate. More time, greater performance, and Sloan just a freshman in the back row for the Wolverines. Miss hit at the net that time. He looked to me, and Carly's block left a little too early.
Definitely was early. I said the timing in the middle is the most important set, I think, as a volleyball player. But Arthur's just all over her middle hitter, following her every single time.
Hard serving now at 6'4". Boilermakers. Michigan picks up. We talk about players being able to touch 10-4 in your playing games. What could you touch?
I'm going to keep that to myself. But I did have an All-American on my team that could touch higher than that.
Really?
So, yes.
I'll have you know that at 6 feet, I can touch 6'3". 6'5".
I'm scared.
I would be. Well, did that one. Too tight to the net, and Michigan with another point now to knock this one at 6 apiece. Are you surprised both teams at 18 and 5 on the campaign coming into this one?
No, to be honest with you, I'm not. 18 and 5 is not bad. It's not a bad record at the Big Ten.
It shows you the balance and the strength of the lead as Burnell comes through with that one. Purdue goes to the bench, and Ehlers comes back in. Ulrich to serve. Nice hit in the back row. Now looking for the opening. He's not happy with that. In the middle they go. Arthur. Michigan with another chance. Bauer again. Good hit in the back row. By Miller. Wow. Here's the block. Has a trickle off of her. Coach Shondell not happy right now. He's getting an explanation of what occurred earlier from our second referee. That would be Travis Carly.
This crowd is intense. I'll tell you what though, Rennie, this is some of the best rallying I've seen in all the games that I've done, going back and forth, instead of just the pass set kill. I mean, this is fun.
Strong serving helps. We talked about that. Michigan had that. We talked about when you side out 65% of the time, you're doing well. But if you get the strong serving, you get up to 75-80%. There's a good chance you'll win the set. Arthur's coming through that time for Purdue, and you gotta like what you see out of Christie too, just a sophomore. It's now 8-7. Sends it over. Sails wide. Michigan picks up the point. We're knotted at 8 apiece.
But you notice she's a left-handed player, which usually in Division I volleyball, those players play on the right side. So when she's getting blocked as an outside hitter, it is really hard to read her arm swing.
Josh goes to Purdue that time. And that's the thing too. As a freshman, I said I want the job. I want it on the outside, and I'm ready for the responsibility. As a freshman, you have to like that moxie as a coach, do you know?
Of course you do. I mean, she has so many different arm swings, especially, like I said, because she is a left-handed player. I don't know if I've ever seen a left-handed outside.
And the shot, actually a little pitch over, nicely done by Karpiak, seeing that Purdue really had nobody in the front ball outside, pushes it over to the six.
When you're a middle blocker, Randy, and you get sets like that, you do everything in your power not to go up and just kill the ball. But she noticed that no one was there, and instead of doing that, look, she just keeps the ball in.
And give the point to the Wolverines now. So they're up 10-9 in this one. This is kind of the ebb and flow that we thought we'd see. I asked you if you were surprised at 18 and 5 of these two teams. Is there a team that has surprised you with their play so far in the Big Ten?
You know, I think that the two losses that Minnesota has suffered to Illinois and then to Michigan, or to Purdue, sort of surprises me. If they can bring a really strong team together.
Michigan found the opening in the back row. Again, the Purdue faithful not too happy with that one. Mark Rosen looks on. There's Bauer to serve again. It's hard to gauge an ankle and how healthy it is, but from the movement of Bauer so far in this match, she looks to be close to 100%. And the Boilermakers now will get a free one. Well, you make the block to the net, but then you got to remember that Lynch is waiting in the middle.
I don't know are not happy. They think that Stephanie Lynch broke the plane, went on the other side of the net. It's a tough call.
11-10 now in favor of the Wolverines. Zimmerman, again, out of necessity, pushed that one over. That was set kind of close to the net. Again, you talked about it earlier, about 5 feet away, but she said, I'll take it myself.
Showing that she's definitely an offensive player.
His honorable mention All-American last year out of Barrington, Illinois. 12-10 Michigan here in the second set. So right ahead of the ball. Big Ten network for this one. Good block, double team at the net by Michigan. Zimmerman pushes it over. The joust at the net. Karpiak accompanying the net one.
Karpiak going up strong every single time, is following her middle blockers, but everything tonight is starting with this Michigan serve. I'm so impressed with it. Of course, it's the first contact in volleyball, but when it is consistent through, like you said, through every single set, it's a huge advantage for the Wolverines.
Their offense, and then Purdue is looking at this and saying, how can we counter this? So many times late in that first set, they seem to be out of system. Right now, Michigan again seems to have the answers, up by 3. Bauer gets a little miscommunication there in the middle, and they come through there with the hit. As Paz comes through with a big hit.
And Paz, I'm laughing because she is so into this game right now. She wants to win this game so bad, and all of her teammates are thriving off of her energy.
Coach Shundell says it's time to regroup. We're down by 4 in the second sets. All because of the strength of Michigan. They've been very offensive in a good way for Wolverine fans.
When we talked to him before the game, he said they're struggling with a consistent lineup, and then if things start going bad, that he's not enough healthy players to keep his team going the way that they do. I respect anything Coach does or says, so.
Hammer time for Grinnell, and Purdue picks up a point. 14-11 Michigan up as Lynch is serving now. That's Zimmerman with the set. Good touch that time by Paz. Nice placement. Good block at the net. And does it stay alive? No, it stays in. It finds the line. Hans looked at it, thought about it, didn't act on it, and Purdue picks up the point.
And when you are a player, especially in the back row, your coach tells you if you even have a slight, you are not sure, or the ball, it might be going over my outside shoulder and going out, you always play that ball.
When in doubt, send it out. 14-12, and Purdue sends that one into the net, make it 15-12 now. Michigan goes to the bench, and they bring back in number 6, and that is Carly Bruck, the sophomore, who actually from an eligibility standpoint is a freshman out of Elyria, Ohio. 15-12, Wolverines up. Backs at that time. Whoops. That's what happens sometimes when you leave too early, I guess, huh?
That time I think that Arthur's left too early and Hart set that ball outside of the antenna, which as a middle blocker is really hard to do. In practice, you are set, you practice setting or hitting every single set, just like you will in a game, and on that one, it was both of the players.
Grinnell comes through. It sails wide off the block, so Purdue picks up a point now.
When the setter is in the front row, Randy, as an outside hitter, you always want to try to go to her. Not that sometimes they're not always the best blockers, but they have so much going through their minds. Who am I going to set next? What if the ball's not perfect? So, perfect play by Grinnell to go at the setter.
Hart with the service there, and that's the other thing you mentioned in the setter's mind. They have to remember, too, how do I continue to equally or try to distribute the ball so the defense doesn't know where it's going, because if you keep setting the same person, they're going to put the block right there. Touch set at the net channel, and mishandled that time by Zimmerman. That's a rare point for Purdue.
Zimmerman, again, we were talking about how she has so much going on, but that time she was playing good defense. She was just a little too eager and was running forward. You always have to stop where you are to make the play.
Jessica Ulrich, who's nicknamed J-Rich, into serve. 17-14 Michigan. Paz. On the outside. Hands. Hit by Hands to back up. Michigan with a good block. Wow. Trump keeps it alive. Makes that block keep it alive. And good job by Arthur.
Arthur's taking advantage. If you could tell on that rally, Paz was on the ball. They're out of system right now. You know, she's keeping the ball alive. She's staying there, telling her outside hitters, I can take over. But it's great for Purdue. Great play for them to take advantage of that.
And you can see the comfort level rising, too, for Kristen Arthurs as a sophomore. 17-15 here. That's Bauer. Opening in the front row, and Michigan now widens that lead out to 3 at 18-15. Pause to serve. We mentioned about this time in set number 1 where she took over.
See if she can do it again.
Got a couple of service aces last night. With Michigan on a run here in set number 1 against the Boilermakers. Coming our way. Knocking out the stats monitor. 18-16. Purdue. I noticed you were ready, though. You had your hands up. You were ready for the block.
I was.
Even though there was no net. Protect the elderly play-by-play guy.
I'd do anything for it.
Thank you. Morlau. That's it. Oh.
Well, no, I was actually just going to say, when I was sitting towards us, I might back away.
She is rapidly approaching the career high in attempts. It was 4,783 set by Debbie McDonald back in 86 to 89, and she may break that mark. This set, and Rich Lynch is in the middle for Purdue.
Football in the middle is working for Purdue. Stephanie Lynch again, she wants to get the kill every single time. With this perfect pass, she goes with her setter as a middle blocker. You have to follow your setter so you can hit right on top of them.
So many teams, so many sports have that go-to person, and for Purdue it is Lynch. And she came through with that good point. But Michigan answers. We talked about Lynch and what a performer she has been. Honorable mention All-American 2 times. And who knows, she could be en route to doing it a 3rd time. Some think maybe the best middle block in the entire country. Wow comes through that time. The numbers on Lynch, where she ranks in the hitting percentage and blocks per set and kills, and those are impressive numbers.
Very impressive numbers for the senior.
20-18 Michigan up. They took the first set 25 to 21. The Karpiak in the middle. Michigan now with the free ball. Outside. We'll watch that one triple wide. The Wolverines pick up a point to add to that lead. You know, we mentioned who our first and second referees were. Like Steve Robb in his 11th year, Travis Harley in his 3rd. Steve wanted me to mention a big hello to his son who is serving in Iraq, who will eventually get a copy of this match and see that Dad does have a nighttime job as well as working down in outside sales during the day. So congratulations to his son for the service that he provides. 21-19 now. Look at Purdue right now. They have to make a statement. You would think you're late in set number 2. They've inched to within 2.
That's a good point. For them to take a set off of Michigan, it has to turn around right now.
This is Gurnell. Answer the back row with the gift. Back row set, it goes to Bauer. There's the block. The net, Gurnell there, and Arthurs, and Purdue cuts it to 1.
And that's what they need. We talked about it in the open, how good they are at blocking. They need to keep that going. It gets their team so fired up.
Michigan burns a timeout. The lead has dwindled down to 1. 21-20, set number 2. Stick around. And we'll go over the Big Ten volleyball breakdown, and we'll have highlights and stats from the first 2 sets. All that and more just around the corner, but still to be decided is set number 2. Purdue is inched within 1, looking to tie. Michigan trying to make a statement. And they come through with a strong hit by Juliana Robb. She has been omnipresent in the first 2 sets.
I was going to say, not only from the service line and playing in the back row, because she stays in all the way around, she's a consistency for their team. But on that play, she had 2 blockers on her, got through her blockers, over her blockers, and then just caught Morlau playing too shallow.
Service error by Maggie Bush makes it 22-21. Purdue down by 1. See what happens late here in set number 2. Is ready to serve for the Boilermakers is Jacqueline Hart. Her birthday coming up on November the 10th. So she has a service there as well, too. Michigan sees that lead go up to 2.
not what needs to happen when the score is this close. An unforced error is not what Purdue needed.
Zimmerman has served. She had 58 assists last night against Illinois. At the net, hammered through by Arthurs. Arthurs was not going to be denied on that one.
Right in between her blocker stands, like a little blocker. You're taught to go up right over your head. Watch this. Just a little split on that one.
And then it was 23-22. Paz. Good diagonal that time, but a good get in the back row by Hart. Free ball now for Michigan. This is Paz. Answer's ready for it. Juliana again. With depth on that shot. Merlau. And she just kills that one. It was almost like Benita said, I've had enough. This is going to end. And we're tied now at 23 apiece. Take a look at this one more time. Look at the swing. Elizabeth talked about the way she generates so much power with that. And Merlau just put it down with the hammer to tie it now at 23 apiece. And a service error that time. And now it is set point number 1 and set number 2 for Michigan. Already up 1-0. Paz will go with the jump serve this time. Off the tape. It's good. Merlau, last court with the winner. And we'll play on. Tied at 24. You know, we mentioned Michigan in set 5. Set that only goes to 15. Played at 24-22 with Illinois last night. Earlier this season against Indiana, they had a set go 38-36. So Michigan getting used to this. And that time on the overpass, Lynch finds the opening and says, I'll send it down. And now Purdue will have a chance to win the set. But first, Michigan will take a timeout. Again, perfect position that time by Stephanie Lynch. She's seeing the block better this season. She's hitting well in front of and behind the center. And that time did a great job, Elizabeth, to go ahead and make it 25-24. Purdue now with the upper hand.
And Purdue really turning it around. That's exactly what Purdue needs to do. What they should have done in the first set, Randy, was go to Lynch every single time that the ball is set where she can get to it. If you notice, she's a spark of their team. Right now, she's telling her team, we're not losing this.
We take a look at this one more time and watch. Again, there's not a whole lot that Zimmerman could do with that at the net on the overpass. The center has no control when it's that close. You just hope that if there's a joust, you're going to win it. And that time, Lynch was ready for it. She hammered it home. And Purdue really, in essence, has a chance to steal set number 2.
I mean, they definitely do. And what you said about that pass, when the pass is set that close to the net, there's nothing, like you said, that Zimmerman can do. But Lynch, she follows her setter first and then her hitters, which is a perfect play by the middle blocker.
Lynch is Purdue's all-time career blocks leader. She got those with 5 stuffs against Michigan State on October the 25th. We'll see what Coach Shondell has up his sleeve, and how about what Mark Rosen can counter with as well, too. His team looked to be in control of set number 2, but Purdue has bounced back. We wondered if this would be a 5-setter. We'll find out. 25-24. Boilermakers with a set point. Bauer sends it over. Goes to Merlau in the middle. Can they hunt it down? Paz gets it. Zimmerman will send it over. Purdue with a free one for a chance for the set. The shot I think they were expecting. Bauer outside finds the opening. Bauer comes through.
And right there, Stephanie Lynch, she was calling for that 3 ball, which is a quick ball, not quite to the outside, was mishit, and then Bauer just saying, I only have 1 blocker, and I'm going to go outside of her straight down the line.
So now we're tied at 25 with Slogdon off to serve for the Wolverines. We'll go to at least 27. Wow. That was a rocket that got away from Danita, and she even pointed my bad. So it's 26-25 now in favor of Michigan. They have a chance now for a set point, and Purdue takes the timeout. So it's 26-25 here in set number 2. As we mentioned, both teams at 18-5 on the season. Purdue at 7-4 in league play, and Michigan now at 6-5 in the Big Ten. Fans, you can find out Big Ten volleyball stats at Big10Network.com, the ultimate destination for all of your Big Ten volleyball stats. Now, not only do you find out about your team, but you find out what they're doing against the opponents so far in the season. It is a myriad of information. If you have a week, that's the place to go, because you can find out everything you want to know about the Big Ten and the volleyball stats. So check it out on the website. And don't forget, we've got a intermission show that is second to none. We'll go back to the studio for an update of everything that's happened in Big Ten action. So much going on in the world of football, including right next door at Ross Inc. Stadium earlier today. Plus, we'll have a volleyball breakdown with highlights and stats. Rick Piso standing by the Big Ten studio. And updates, so stick around for that. As Mark Rosen looks on and talks to Bauer, try to give her some insight. This is the guy that, when you look at what he's done, he's already won a national championship with Northern Michigan. And that happened as his first-year head coach back in 1994 to head Cal State Bakersfield to a regional final in the Division II finals in his first 2 seasons as head coach before going to Northern. Michigan looking to close this out. On the slide, but Purdue finds the opening. It is Lynch with the throw.
Great reading now, all tied up. Purdue has to serve tough so they can mix it up for a little bit with Michigan. Michigan's one team that's been serving tougher. Let's see what they can do.
Zimmerman, Karpiak, and Karpiak has that tendency to be able to float in air, and that time she left early. Zimmerman still handled it for the winner.
Sometimes that's the hardest block or the hardest hit to read as a blocker and as a defensive player.
Set point for Michigan again. Can they go up 2-love in this one? Michigan will get a free one. Karpiak, it's Bauer, it's Zimmerman. They go far side to Hunt, looking for the element of surprise, and it's pushed over. Lexi Zimmerman comes through with the winner, and Michigan gets set number 2 by a count of 28-26. So often in sports you talk about ebb and flow. Boy, we saw it there in set number 2 as we went back and forth in that one. And Michigan comes through. Zimmerman again likes to go with that quick attack. And Lexi is that person that will look for the opening. And you almost look a pass, a movement ahead of time. And she found the opening to the right of Merlau. And she was able to get the point and get the set for Michigan. And now they're up 2 sets to love in this one, winning 25-21 and then 28-26. So Lexi Zimmerman coming through with a big play for the Wolverines as they're now up 2-love in this one. And Dave Shondell with plenty of work to do, and we'll find out what Dave has to say. Elizabeth is standing by with the Purdue head coach right now.
Coach, your team coming back in the second set, what was the biggest difference between 1 and 2?
Well, we passed the ball a little bit better. We broke down in passing in game 1. We changed our reception pattern a little bit, took Danita out so she could focus on hitting out of the back row, and allowed Ulrich, Ehlers, and Millers to pass, and they did a very fine job. We competed a little bit better. We had the opportunity there on game point, and just set the ball too low to Lynch, it would have been over.
All right, thanks.
Execution.
Thanks, Coach. Randy?
Thank you very much, Elizabeth and Coach Shondell. Don't forget, Rick Piso is standing by in the Big Ten studios with an update of all the action today. Right now, Michigan, top dog, up by 2 sets here on the Big Ten Network.
What are your doubts, if any, in that close second set?
Well, we're just kind of playing it for point, so I don't know if we had any doubts, but they're playing well, and, Purdue's a tough team, so we kind of backed away from serving there in the middle of that game and let them kind of catch back up. Against them, we have to serve tough. If they're in system, I don't think we can stop them, so we've got to try and limit their options, get them out of system, and then have a chance to defend them.
I thought Paz's numbers were a little surprising, but she always comes up with that, killer win or to win the game. Talk about her play.
Yeah, she's just a very experienced, very mature kid. Her numbers have kind of gone down because teams are keying so much more on her, but she does handle the ball well in the pressure points, and we certainly like to have her swinging in those situations.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Randy?
Elizabeth, thank you very much, and thank you, Coach Rosen. As you peruse some of the numbers after the first 2 sets, you can see the digs right now favoring Purdue. Look at the blocks, the assists, the service aces. That is huge. We talked about Michigan being a strong serving team. They showed that early on. We talked about how that could change your side-out philosophy and what happens, and the percentage increases too. We saw that from Michigan, and they were able to come back in the second set now and lead 2 sets to none. Some highlights from this match. Nice backslide, and Lynch was a key player for Purdue. We thought she would be. And then again, they go in the middle, and that time they find Stephanie again for another one. And, you know, Purdue had a lot of strong play inside. Lynch and Merlau played very well. And Michigan was able to answer, too.
And Paz only had 3 kills, but she, from the service line, is making Michigan. That's why Michigan is winning this game, because she's serving so tough. But she's hitting the 2-ball. And look at all this energy that she has. Her team is thriving off of the way that she's playing. And then Zimmerman being an offensive threat, mixing it up for the Wolverines.
Now, Michigan's hitting .311 as a team. Purdue at .298, so both teams hitting very well. So Michigan is pretty good. So both teams just playing very well in the first 2 sets, but Michigan with just a little bit more oomph, especially in set 2, and now they have the upper hand. Again, Michigan on the right, Purdue on the left, and it's a free ball now for Michigan. And it's sent over a little too strong, so a little lack of concentration there. You have to at least keep it into the back row, and Michigan with a butt here and 7-3.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Merlau shaking her head because on a free ball, you cannot go out of bounds. She was that quick run ball right in front of the center's head. When they're connecting, they're hot.
And why is it so effective? Because the defense doesn't have time to react?
I mean, exactly. When it's that quick of a ball and Stephanie Lynch is that strong, when it's just a one blocker going up against her, she has so many different options when she's up to cut on either side of the block.
Just one more time. They go over to Hunt on the outside. There's a block awaiting her at the net. 2-1 Purdue up in this one. Now we'll set it over. Nice attempt to the back row. Michigan and Paz, and Purdue now up 3-1. Well, Coach Shondell, you have to think put a fire under his team, knowing that it's pretty much do or die. You've got to take 3 straight.
Exactly, and the second set was so close that he's telling his team that they should have won that game. So let's cut down on our service errors. So many service errors late in that second set. That's what he said when I was talking to him. They've got to cut that down. Talked
about Merlau. She's now just 1 career attempt away from the all-time record at Purdue, as Nichols got that prior service. But now the point goes to Michigan, make it 4-2 here in set number 3. Lance will check in. Serve. And Emily Ehlers will check in for Purdue. Hard to stop on the slide. The momentum that Lynch has going towards the net and then with the angular shot.
With a perfect pass by Kelly Miller right on top of her center's head. Watch this perfect pass and then the 1-foot takeoff. My favorite hit as a middle blocker, but Stephanie Lynch is so strong that she can cut it inside her blockers.
Now with service error. Michigan picks up 1 point now to cut it to 5-3 here. Michigan taking the first 2 sets, 25-21 and 28-26. Both teams, as we mentioned, 18-5 on the season. Michigan at 6-5 in league play. And Purdue now at 7-4. Michigan a loser last night at Illinois. And Purdue winner at home over Ohio State in 3 straight.
And there's that big Michigan block. When we talked about it in the beginning, you said Purdue is such a good blocking team. Michigan, though, tonight, really stepping up their block.
They've had their A game, I think, in all phases, offensively, defensively, and then we talked about the serve game, too.
That's a great point.
Pushed outside to Grinnell. Zimmerman goes for the duck. Look at that hard answer. No, this is the way you do it.
I know Hart said, oh, you're going to try to tip it over on my team. I'm going to get you right back. Kelly Miller is all over the court.
When you look at Hart, how does the back look? Does she look to be struggling at all? Does she look to be fairly healthy at this point of the match?
You know, I just noticed in the second set her brace, which seems really uncomfortable, but you can tell that she's not how she was at the beginning of the season. But she's playing pretty tough.
Point for Michigan. Well, before the match, I will tell you that she walked by Coach Rosen and she said, here, do you want to wear this? And she offered up the brace to him. He goes, I'll pass. I was going to say I'll pause, but 6-5 Purdue up. Outside to Grinnell. Off the block. We have a net violation.
Super call by the referees. Grinnell really stepping up tonight for her team, swinging as hard as she can. But I said it before, she's so athletic, Randy, that she can stop. She can gather herself with her 2 arms and just sort of like, lay there, or be there, and just look for all her different shots.
Little joust at the nets. Michigan trying to come up with an answer, and now with a miss hit. Can't dig it out, and Michigan gets a point. Wolverines now cut it to 7-6. Now, it's not like, if you look at this, Purdue has been blown out. Yet they're down 2-0, and here they are in set 3. And it's been a similar script, it seems like 7-6, 8-7 in these first 3 sets. But the last 5 points when one of the teams tries to make the move, and it's been Michigan in sets 1 and 2, and Burnett comes through to kill that time.
Burnett right in between their 2 blockers. And the back set right now is working for Purdue. Watch this. Another perfect pass by Kelly Miller. And she sees that the block's not there. Very smart play.
Yeah, so often we talk about the set, but that's a great point about the passing by Miller to set it up so that Hart has something to deal with. Ooh, contact in the back row. Let's see if they're okay. As Ulrich collides with Miller. Boss gets credit for the kill. That was almost a fist to the face.
I know, and on that play in the back row, you're taught as a defensive player to, when you see the libero, to A, let her go, but cross one way or the other so you don't, that doesn't happen. And that time, just a little bit miscommunication. The deep shot, it's there every time. If she can get through her blockers or over her blockers and swing that deep, Haas is playing so far up because she thinks that Merlot's going to just swing it as hard as she can in the middle of the court.
Miller with the serve. She was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week, October 20th, and then Merlau with the defense.
Merlau one-on-one. What makes Stephanie Lynch such a good player, she told Merlau that she was not going to be there, so Merlau took one step in, went straight up, lined up on her arm, and got the block.
And now it's 10-7. The fans cheering now for their hometown Boilermakers, who won an exciting football matchup with the same school they're battling with in volleyball earlier today. Good get by Miller in the back row. There's no out. That's a Lynch. Good block by Carpiak in the net. Zimmerman goes for the dunk, but they're ready for it. A double team block waiting for that. Now it sails one. Outside the end, good block and execution. Michigan. Lucky numbers for Purdue in set 3, 11-7 here on the Big Ten Network. So just 200 in the first 2 sets. She made the key play, although you can't overlook the play of Zimmerman either with what she did. Brooke, I think, carried them early on until some of the other players got a chance to establish themselves. Cut the lead now to 3 at 11-8.
And that was what we call a drop set. So not all the way out to the outside, not high in the middle or quick in the middle. I call it a 3-ball. Most people call it a 3-ball, but sometimes it's also called a gap or whatever the your team calls it. It's a quick set, and it's definitely working for Michigan because it's throwing off Lynch in the middle.
Bowers had an effective serve that time as Carpiak and company come through. There's Beth, and Beth, an interesting story. When she had her Oregon donor card signed and witnessed, her witness was Chicago Bears quarterback Rex Bracey.
I didn't know that.
It's one time to know this stuff. He's very socially active too in Michigan community. Actually trying to work to help those that do not have jobs get cards and get access to identity cards. Go ahead and get back in the workforce. And right now, trying to stay active in this match down. 2 sets to none. Nichols to serve. Nichols is a player that when you watch him, you can sense she has a great feel for when the ball is in the wheelhouse. That time she sent it to the wheelhouse, unfortunately. Back and hard on a service error.
And that stings when you're a player in the front row. And you have no idea it's coming. I've been drilled many times.
12-11. Joust. Michigan won it. Now they'll get a free one. Miscommunication. Good get by Lynch to push it across. Zimmerman with a set. Bauer with the attack. Wow. Trying to find the gap. Well, that time, the change up and not the fastball.
That's exactly what she did. She just slowed her forearm swing down in the middle of her swing.
Explain how difficult it is to look for the gap while you're in the process of taking your shot.
And that's a great point, Randy, because fans out there and people that have played, they know how hard it is. But for you to change up your swing and you're already in the air and see the court and see your block, it's a lot of things going on.
Zimmerman and company. It's now 13-12 in this one. The back row substitutions again. Bush back in for Michigan to serve. We talked about the injuries. Opening up the both teams and looks out to play through it. Lynch though looks 100% and she comes through with a big hit there. Here again, how Michigan was in set two, kind of moving out to that lead, 1 point, 2 point. See if they can open up that cushion, but Michigan just always hangs around and finds a way to come back and win the first 2 sets. That's the keeper.
And pause, passing her own ball and swing hitting. So here, if she passes a perfect ball, knows that if she passes it perfect and calls for the ball, that she can't blame anyone but herself. She has such a tough arm swing.
Served by Zimmerman. Takes that circular approach to it. Joust was one at the net. Michigan's got it. And they push it over and find the opening.
And there it pauses again. Swinging hard on the first one and noticing that the defense is, they were all on their feet and trying to get up from the play. Perfect play.
Lead was 2 for Purdue. Now it's evaporated. It's good off the tape. Movement by Arthurs that time. Arthurs was surprised by that and nearly had a look in my face. She did a good job of adjusting to that one. Nice play by her. Kristen comes through with a big point for Purdue. It kind of reminds me of Penn State. Penn State will toy with a team early in a set, and then they just knock them out and put them away. Mark Rosen had a great analogy. He said they're kind of like the cat, and every other team in the Big Ten is like a mouse. So early on, they kind of play with them, knock them out.
They think they can compete, and
all of a sudden they become lunch. Purdue saw the cushion lead. Now they brought it back again to 16-14 with Jacqueline Hart to serve. The only thing that's going to stop Penn State right now is a collision in the back row. They have just been outstanding. They've not lost a set all season. Miss hit that time by Kelly
Miller patting herself saying, my fault. She knows that she has to get that ball over her head because it was going over her head, but just a little bit higher so her setter can get there in time even to make a first contact.
So Paz goes with speed this time. The middle of the road for her. Wow, the back row attack. Good get that time. By Powell. Now. Nice block. Double team by Brunel and Arthurs to the net.
Two of the best blocker combinations, I think, in the Big Ten. They were all over.
And the good news for Purdue fans, they're both coming back next season. We talked about the leadership for Purdue and seniors, but those two will be back, junior and sophomore respectively. Good push down that time. That was a slap by Arthur.
It definitely was. But there you see, keep talking about Kelly Miller. I love to watch her play, but that ball is perfect. I mean, it's a perfect pass. So Hart has 3 options to set. It's not easy to do as a libero when the ball's coming at you like Michigan's been hitting.
Got it. Service goes for Ulrich, and we'll have a timeout. Now, Purdue has made that 2-point lead into 3 and now 4. The Rosens are wondering, can they come back and end it now? Purdue says, we still have a heartbeat. Mix of the legendary Elizabeth Moreau and Audrey Flo talking volleyball, keeping you up to date on what goes on in that sport and so much more. That's the ball every Monday at 7:30. Bauer coming through for Michigan, cutting the lead now to 3 at 19-16.
Michigan is not just going to hand this third set over to Purdue. They are tired, just like Purdue is. They want to go home, back to Michigan. That's a great outside set. As I jinxed it.
Very good. Don off that time with a service error. Well, that's a good point to start mentioning now. Does fatigue set in because Michigan played 5 at Illinois, 24-22 in the 5th. Purdue, an easy match with Ohio State in 3.
Well, you want to think, and as being a player, you know that you are well conditioned, but the traveling and playing 5 and playing a team like Illinois, that's so athletic.
Down the line, it's a winner for the Boilermakers. Nichols and company coming through.
Here we see Nichols with a fast arm swing right down the line. A perfect shot.
Her dad played basketball at Purdue from 73-75. Thought it was junior and watched him play. Counted for Purdue now at 22-16. So glad to have you aboard Michigan and Purdue top 20 action from the Big Ten and volleyball action. I'm Randy Reinhardt alongside Elizabeth Moreau. So in set 3, if you're just joining us, Michigan winning the first two 25-21, 28-26, but they were both very competitive, and Purdue trying to inch back into this one. They had the upper hand in each of the prior 2 sets, but couldn't close, and Michigan was very strong in the last third, if you will. Now it's up to a 5. Good play at them by Purdue, and now make it 23-17, just 2 away from the set.
And watch this, Merlau totally camped out. She knows that ball is going back one-on-one with one hand.
That's Bauer. Nichols. There's the push by Hart. Nicely done. And Purdue now with a chance to take set number 3. The fans on their feet now in the Holloway Gymnasium. Beeling court. As the cushion is up to 7. Nichols to serve. And for her serving and passing, can she come through? Can Michigan stop the run? There's the slide. There's the back. And there's set number 3 going to Purdue. So the Boilermakers will not go away as they take set number 3 by a count of 25-17. Dave Shondell has to be happy with his team's play. Can they do it again? Does Mark Rosen have an answer? These stories and more will be answered in set number 4. As both teams put their 18-5 season marks on the line, and Big Ten marks of 6-5 for Michigan and Purdue at 7-4. The 4th set around the corner right here on the Big Ten Network as the Boilermakers bounce back in set number 3.
I mean, you see these digs, Purdue 46-36 because of Kelly Miller. I keep talking about her. Look at the kills, though. 52 to Purdue 44. You would think that it would be a different, Purdue would be leading the sets until right now with all that information.
I'll tell you what, in set number 3, Purdue as a team hit 500. Michigan cooled down to a 219 clip. And there's the change at libero now for Michigan as Carrie Hance will get the libero as she switched jerseys, and Sloan Donoff, not the libero right now. She can come in and play the back row. Those two were fighting out for that position at the start of the season, so not a big surprise when you're Coach Rosen. You've got that flexibility in the back row. Good get there by Hance. And there's a nice kill by Hunt on the outside for Michigan, and they get the first point here in set number 4.
And that's exactly what Coach Rosen told them. We have to get this first point if we want to win this 4th set.
Carey serving again. Merlau. Hance really went down to get that one. And look at that hit. Out of bounds. Get that, and then the opening in the back row found by Hance. Hance hit by Purdue to get the point.
Merlau hitting this 2-ball, a high ball in the middle as an outside hitter. There you see Stephanie Lynch fakes out her blockers. So when the Michigan block's going down, Merlau is just getting up to swing.
Service error by Nichols, point for Michigan. And we should mention too that indeed Anita Merlau now is the all-time leader in career attempts at Purdue, breaking that mark by Debbie McDonald. Debbie had the mark for 4,783, but it's been shattered by Anita.
That's a lot of attempts. I've seen it maybe half more. I mean, that's remarkable stat.
And you can still play the game at your advanced age, correct? Tied at 2. She gets the upper hand early in set 4. And they make it straight. But using that left hand, going back to Alex, we heard a little from the freshman early on. We talked about her improved play. In fact, maybe that defense up there against Michigan was the coming out party for Alex Hunt.
It wasn't. I watched the game, and you're exactly right. It was her coming out party. She just lit it up on the outside. I'm telling you, with that left hand, it's hard to block.
Reed and Grinnell comes through outside. Grinnell, keep that up consistently. So many offensive weapons for Purdue. The key then is making sure you mix it up, I guess, with the set. Same thing for Lexi Zimmerman, too. Karpiak saves that one. She's going to get it back. She plays catch with Zimmerman. Brunel with a tough angle there.
Brunel saying, I should have just tried to pass the ball over. And it's not hard to bounce up to the stands. She wants to get the point. She wants to try to get the kill for her team, but that time she just should have free balled it over.
Bush checks in to serve to the back row for Michigan. 4-3 Wolverines up. Job by Lexi
That was such an athletic play. She sees that Purdue is on the ground. They're scrounging to pick up the ball. She sees that corner open, and instead of setting one of her hitters, she just places the ball perfectly.
What a great kick by Donoff, too, to keep that going. Donoff, as we mentioned, out of the lead row, she's been playing in the back row. She helped make that play and extended it for Michigan to get that point. Sails wide.
The antenna on that one, just, when the ball is set that far out, it's hard to keep that ball inside the antenna on that time. They just flipped it a little.
We'll see what's in the gas tank for both of these teams, especially Michigan after playing the 5-setter last night with Illinois. Going 24-22 in the fifth. Missed it that time.
That time the ball set too low for Michigan, right, and they set her right into that ball.
Thinking about the point separation in this match so far, I think the end of set 3 was probably one of the biggest separations we've had in the whole match.
Definitely. I've been seeing that a lot. I know you have too in the games that you've done, games that you've watched. These points are just they're so close.
Brunel will get it. There's an opening. Hands covers up nicely. Pawns with the hammer, but a good get. This is Nicholas. Look at Bauer. Maybe a point for Purdue. I'm going to ask you, do you like the way volleyball is played now? The scoring is different. We go to a different pace. We go to 25 instead of 30. We have, in essence, rally scoring throughout. Do you like that style of volleyball?
You know, I do. I've been in every stage of this. I think that Don Harden at Illinois, he explained it the best to me, that when it went to rally, it took away from the side out from the slow moving, and it became a race with a rally scoring at five sets. I keep wanting to say games. And now that it's a 25, it's an even shorter race, that there's a more sense of urgency. And if you're down 5 points with this new rally scoring, it's really hard to get your team back into the game.
Pause to serve. Michigan up by 1, 7-6, set 4. Michigan trying to win this and win the match. Arthurs comes up with the point for Purdue. And I guess my best example is in the old days of volleyball. I did a Penn State-Ohio State match that lasted 2 hours and 53 minutes.
That's long.
They had facial here by the time it was over. There's the lefty by Hunt. Can Purdue hunt it down? They can with a collision. Sent over by Nichols. The outside, they go to Hunt again. It was tipped, and Michigan gets the point.
And she gets set, Hunt gets set the first time, Purdue plays it up, and she calls for the ball the second time, saying, I'm going to put the ball down. She does a remarkable job, Randy, of using the hands, and it still goes in. Using the block, and it still goes in the court.
And how much of volleyball is confidence? You have to want to have the ball back in. If you have to miss it, that's going to be yours.
Especially being a hitter and being a setter, even playing defense, it's all about if you think that you have the ability to get the ball off the ground or get that kill, call for the ball every single time.
Coach Shondell doesn't agree with that call. It was 9-7. It's a pretty point. They can have it. Merlau is being called over by our first referee.
Both coaches right there. One thought the one was a touch on the other.
Still running. 11 years for Steve up in the chair and 3 years for Travis Curley on the second referee. There's a lot on the line here. Both coaches and teams and fans into this one.
Substitution for Purdue number 6, Emily English, 75.
This is what happened a couple points ago.
thought there was a touch on the ball.
Words, trying to explain it, but maybe too vocal with their explanation. Missed it by that time, and Michigan picks up another point. But it's hard to separate the emotion from a contest like this. A timeout taken by Michigan up in this one. See what I missed? The travel over here, but it might be a lot of fun again today in the Big Ten. We've talked about the football escapades that take place here at Washington State, just across the street. How about Indiana, too? 11-9, counting this one. Numbers on Stephanie Lynch so far, 13 kills. Not a surprise to see her in double figures. Seems like it's a given with her play. There's a slot, but the action block there from Lynch, anchored out. Good save there. That time she made the right move with the pass.
Stephanie Lynch is doing an incredible job of following her watch. She has to follow her first, the setter, then move and go where the hitter is being set. She's following her. I wouldn't be tipping into her.
She looks more than a carpenter. 12-10 now, Michigan. Michigan, you'd like to end it right now. Drive last night. Donoff back into serve. 3 aces last night for Sloan against Illinois. Actually, she was out for a while. She actually tripped during the pregame of the Purdue match when it was up in Ann Arbor. She was injured, played through that, and then had to sit out.
Great server.
Great in the back there, too, but we've talked about that. You see Hans, what she can do, and Donoff. And how about the play of Miller for Purdue? Just what they can do to dig. It gets so overlooked sometimes to set up the points.
No, it definitely doesn't. When I started doing that in the games, I try to stress that how you have a perfect pass or a decent pass. You don't have options to get your hitters, your big hitters, the ball that they want or the ball that they need to get a kill.
13-11, Michigan up in this one. That's Zimmerman. That's Paz. She comes through.
Paz over her 2 blockers. Sees the line is wide open, that Miller hasn't rotated all the way out to the outside. Watch this.
Easy to talk about, hard to do. She had 16 kills and 5 digs last Saturday in that upset win over Minnesota, although some would wonder now if it's an upset. We'll see. As we mentioned, 2 through 6 in the Big Ten. I don't know how you can sort through that now.
Substitution for Purdue, number 1,
One more time. Bush with the serve.
Miller with the set, yeah.
Mark to serve for Purdue. A great adjustment that time by Paz. I don't think that's what she wanted to set, was it? She got the ball where she wanted it, but still was able to come through and get the kill.
And again, what makes her such a great player, she made that ball better. You said it perfectly. Not the set that she wanted, but she saw that it was quicker, so she made her footsteps, her 3-step approach that much faster to get to the ball.
They find the line, and the ball goes down to Purdue. Looking at why Hudson Zimmerman does that little 270 before she serves. She's that little circular approach up to the line. I'm not sure if she garners speed or momentum or helps her arm swing. Michigan, though, sees it at 15-13. That was good. Purdue gets the point. Caruso wants an explanation. That's the one thing they've kind of changed this year. You have to physically see the lift. It used to be you could almost go on audio contact. If you heard a double contact, or if it sounded like it was a lift, then it was a lift. But now you have to have visual evidence.
Definitely. That was a tough call, but my coach always told me, just listen to the referees and move on to the next point.
Is that right? Juliana Paz has come through with so many big points in big plays for Michigan, especially at the end of 7-1. Comes up with a kill that time. Now she heads back to the back row.
2 aces. Watch her form when she serves.
What a play by Fowler. Up and in.
Paz getting that ball up and Fowler making it better.
back row and then comes over the back row attack. That's hard. Allow again. Good block at the net by Purdue.
Doubling up on that block. That's a great block for Purdue. Now it's giving them a little bit of more momentum. Let's see what they can do with the serve.
Miller to serve now. Michigan up 17-15. They took the first 2 sets. Purdue took set number 3. It's hands. Overpass that time, and now Purdue will have a free ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. On that ball, it had to be set because it wasn't a perfect pass. But Morale is swinging hard on that one, but using her block.
Jimmy slides in on the second base. Count that as a service ace for Miller. And Purdue has crept back.
It's a good point you made about Morale, but I bet now, with a perfect pass, they'll go to Lynch under the gap 3 ball or the 1 in the middle.
Miller with the honors. Bauer. Purdue has strengthened the lead at 18-17. We have played about an hour and 45 minutes, and it looks like the dance will continue. 18-17, Purdue up. Set number 4. This is the Big Ten Network. Alumni night here at Purdue, and Boilermakers up in set 4 by a count of 18-17. That's Bow outside from Michigan. Morale gets it. This is hard. Goes to Nichols. 19-17, net violation there, and make the margin 2 now for Purdue. 6 points away from knotting this matchup and forcing a 5th set. Off the tape, it's good. Good dive that time. Get it by Paz in the handle at the net. This is
what makes Coach Sandell such a good coach. He made the adjustment against Hunt on the block. That's what he told his team. They're going to go to her with a left hand on the outside. You have to move in a little bit to read her arm swing. That's exactly what Purdue's doing.
So Michigan now takes the timeout. They're down by 3 at 20-17 as Coach Rosen trying to figure out what elixir he has. Take a look at that play one more time.
It's a great pass by Paz bringing that ball. Look at that block. They're making the adjustment, and Lynch getting fired up.
As is Morale, and this crowd is as well too. Probably again 3,000. We talked about it. They're 5th in the nation in attendance here at Purdue. It's alumni night, and I know you know some of these young ladies that played here that were recognized during alumni night.
I do. Lauren Berg and Kim Kappa and Darren Poe, who's now Darren Vega. I played with them in the club since I was 14. Grew up with Lauren Berg. This is another thing that's so fun for me to do these games and to be a part of volleyball again. Is I always run in. Now some of my friends are coaching at these schools. They played at these schools. It's a lot of fun.
The moment before the start of the match, do you still get excited and the juices still flow? Would you still love to be out there on the court?
Definitely. I miss it. The time commitment, maybe not.
That is Elizabeth Moreau, and she was a player extraordinary at Butler. She tried to downplay it, but we're happy to have her on the Big Ten Network for her insight. And we're blessed to have great broadcasters throughout. The work of Stover and Jay Wilson, Audrey Flaw, and Jim Stone, and Randy Reinhardt along with E.M. right now. That sees the block. A little timid.
Thinking maybe she's saying to herself, let me slow it down. Let me try to do something else besides hit as hard as I can. Look at this block, though. That is a picture-perfect block.
Lynch is going to put a hole in the floor. She bounces it in. 21-17, Purdue up. Deflection at the net. Purdue now up to 5 better than Michigan here in the 4th set. Again, this is a showdown of top 20 teams, folks, too. Michigan came at number 18, Purdue at number 20. I think you could flip a coin for the way that Michigan and Purdue and Illinois are playing as to where they stand in the Big Ten. That goes deep that time. There's Nichols. This is Bauer. Center Grove High School. McCarthy got just enough. Lynch, good block. They lost track of the game. To the left, and now it is set point for Purdue. Michigan being faced with playing 5 setters on back-to-back nights on the road. Set point number 1. It hits the tape. It's good. Zimmerman pushes it over. Hunt. Good get by Miller. Millau with the push. She finds the end goal. Danita. Millau comes through, and Purdue has fought all the way back. What a job by Purdue. It was 25-17 in the third set, 25-18 in the fourth set, and we will go to a 15-point fifth set.
And thanks to Kelly Miller. Look at that. 2 hands over her head. A perfect pass. It's the seniors, like we talked about before, really stepping up tonight.
Miller had a weekend where she was 98% on serve reception. She's playing well again tonight. We go to the fifth set, tied at 2 apiece. This is the place to be. The Big Ten Network. Tonight, see this one, but we still have some work to do with this one. It'll be Miller to serve. Purdue on the left, Michigan on the right. Kelly with the honors. Here we go. Hunt with a hammer. Nichols. And again. Off the block of the house. Playing pretty high. Elizabeth, how does strategy change when you play a game only up to 15, if anything?
I think your coach tells you that the strategy should change. You want to tell your team, though, the urgency is sort of take a deep breath. It's only to 15, but every point does matter, Randy.
Outside to Millau. Pushed across. Millau has 51 attempts. Fourth set was something else. Not just enough of that one, did Bauer. Millau goes for the push. He's been active in sets 4 and 5 early on. She's the leader now. Pushed across by Zimmerman. Thought about it. Good defense by Hart. The slide. The point for Michigan. We're inside the Holloway Gymnasium. It's Big Ten volleyball action. Michigan number 18, Purdue number 20. I'm Randy Reinhardt alongside Elizabeth Laura. And we have to tell you that Purdue has taken the last 2 sets. Michigan took the first 2, so it's come down to this 5th and final set. You play to 15, but you have to win by 2. Michigan has been there before a couple of times. Has touched that time. Michigan played a set with Indiana, went 38-36 last night in the 5th set. Michigan lost their match 24-22 to Illinois in set number 5. So they've been there before.
And they have, and they want to improve in the second half of the Big Ten season by winning this 15. Not going to some 25.
Nichols with the service error point. Michigan up 3-1 in this one. They're back to subs again. As Donoff will come in to serve now for Michigan. And just joining us, we mentioned it. There was an ebb and flow. And, Purdue had a lead of about 7 or 8 points. And that was really the largest one that we saw. And that came in sets 3 and 4 respectively as they tried to bounce back after Michigan hung on in set number 2. That looked to be the pivotal set that Purdue made a statement at set 3, then 4. And here we are at 3-2 in set number 5 with Danita Millau to serve. A little hesitation. She takes a deep breath. Notice too, Brunel, they've been traditional to the use of it. You talked about her shoulder, and you've got to think that's a fact. I believe Elizabeth why not seeing her play more of this match.
I mean, definitely it has to be because of her shoulder. You can tell on that one, she's just not back into a rhythm right away. It's hard to get back into that rhythm as an outside hitter.
Service error by Bush, point Purdue. It's now 4-3.
Substituting for the Wolverines, number 2, North Carolina, 20, Stephanie Lynch.
Lynch to serve.
with heart right now for Purdue. She's playing great defense when she's in the back row. She's blocking well. Watch this. That's all her.
And with a bad lower back as well, too. We mentioned what she's got to be feeling here at set number 5. And good pitch that time. Counted by Brooke. She comes through with a big point. Currently, Brooke has been so effective for Michigan the last 3 weeks.
She has, and in the fourth set, I heard Coach Rosen tell her, you have to be more aggressive. Because restrained himself from getting on the court, you have to be more aggressive when you're playing Purdue.
Well, she's hitting .378 the last 5 matches, so she needs to be an offensive threat for them as Purdue comes through to knock this now at 5 apiece.
You see this back set is working. Arthur's with her really quick wrist snap.
She's extremely mobile on that slide, and she's got a good size frame too, but she is so eloquent and moves so well. And it's just a brand new game at 5. Good defense in the middle right now by Purdue. That's Grinnell.
And there she is. She can hit on the outside, but she's a versatile player, which means she can also hit on the right side. Watch this, another perfect pass by Kelly Miller. She gets all the way back behind the 10-foot line. When she's one-on-one, she always knows how to hit around the block.
Hart serving. Bauer comes through. Look at Megan Bauer. She was light years ahead of where she was last year. That's all the good dedication. Hart Rosen will tell you that. This is the time to spend in the gym. She broke into the middle row. Front row rather in the middle of last season. Had a great spring. Just a tremendous vocal leader for Michigan. Look at that. Arthur's just kind of playing it was touch. Let's see the call.
So bad. Keep your composure.
It looked like hands ducked. It was close. Point Michigan.
Close calls tonight.
I'd never want to be up on the podium. Grinnell. Back row attack. This is Nichols. Wow, how did that stay alive? And look at Wow, and look at that.
There's a myth though in volleyball that the ball never lies. I think Michigan is in the net on that one.
Tied at 7. This is Jessica Ulrich. Block off the attempt for the kill by Hunt. There's Malau, and the block is there.
That's what Michigan needed, a tough stop at the net.
Round, please. Thank you.
Now switch sides.
Bauer with the power that time, and Michigan gets the points, and they're up 8-7 as we flop it here in set number 5. Telling you what, this has been so exciting. Sometimes you can just sit back and watch what happens, and we will do that together as Michigan leads by 1 in set number 5. Assistance for both teams because they've made it to set number 5. Hands to serve. Michigan up 1. Nichols with a little touch. Zimmerman. Carpiak. She got that down there too. Outside. Malau. Hands. Zimmerman.
You have to, as a hitter, you have to call off your 7. Then I'll put the ball in play. Can't happen at 8-7.
Tied at 8 now. Here's Miller. We've gone back and forth. This one. And still, I don't know who's going to pick you up on this one. This is the time to make the big play.
And this is also what makes teams good and what makes teams great. On a free ball, to send Stephanie Lynch. On a free ball with a perfect pass, you have to go to her. She'll put the ball away.
Michigan will take a timeout, down 9-8 in this one. Yeah, this is the time you wonder if you're Michigan. Is it Carpian time? Is it Brooke time? Do you think about Bauer? Could it be Hunt? You've got to watch Zimmerman with a quick push over. Then for Purdue, you've got so many offensive weapons. Lynch, Malau. Is it Arthur perhaps isn't Grinnell. Could it even be Nichols with her play in the front row? There's so many different options to choose from. You know, there's no loser in this one. I know that's a cliche, but when you think about the setters, what they have done, the back row specialists, the digging that we have seen, this is a clinic for what college volleyball should be, and you're seeing it right now from two quality programs in the Big Ten.
Really are. We talked about it before the match that these teams are very similar, and that's why this match is going to 5 and why it's tied right now.
That's why they're both 18-5 perhaps on the season. Only one game separates them in the league as well, too. You can see that Purdue currently at 7-4 after their win last night over Ohio State. Michigan tripped up at Illinois in a 5th set. That's why they stand where they do. Penn State unblemished. Minnesota with a stumble or two. Illinois right there as well, too. So Big Ten well represented with 6 teams, including that man's team, Dave Shondell in the top 25. Two class guys. Tip of the cap goes to Dave Shondell and Mark Rosen for their cooperation and getting all the information for this match and the sports information departments for both of these fine institutions as well, too. Oh, good block at the net. Falls wide.
And there's that block right now with Malau and Lynch in the front row, excuse me, at the same time. If Lynch can close, the ball cannot get through her.
The Michigan answer. That's foul. They cannot remember it as Lynch and Nichols are in. And now just 4 points away.
And that's what we were talking about. Lynch dropped this ball. But look at this. This is all Nichols. All
Nichols
Nichols.
comes through. Nichols playing like a million on that one. And now Michigan burns their second time out. They're down by 3. Trying to figure out what the tonic is here to come back in this one. Is the Rosen family. Little circle. We mentioned too that top assistant coach is his wife, Lisa Rosen, who is Lisa Whistler, who I remember when she played eons ago at Ohio State. What a player she was. Both Mark and Lisa are from the state of Alaska. In essence, that's how they met. And they're part of the brain trust of the Wolverines. What a fantastic job they have done. And same too for the Shondell family when you think about it. 2 brothers coaching at Purdue, and of course their father was a living legend for what he did at Ball State as a head coach and mentored so many people. We talked about the fact that Jim Stone started under him, and how about Wisconsin, McHaley at USC. So, I mean, the Shondell family means volleyball in the Midwest. Don't forget, Big Ten tonight will be coming up eventually after this one. And I would like all of all the information you need from this one and everything else. And we are, words of Bon Jovi, as you hear from the fans, living on a prayer.
2 of my favorite guys in the studio.
Bon Jovi would be there if you had
Oh, they would love that.
11-8. Back set, Karpiak. This is hard. That's Lynch. When they get there, Power tries to get it. Look at Combs. Not enough juice. But he gets the point. Down 12.
You can feel the excitement in this building and also on Lynch's face. I tell you what though, Chloe Miller, she is keeping a consistent serve, which is also a tough serve in a perfect way to start.
She's been rock steady, serving and digging. Zimmerman comes back for it. Karpiak ties it over. Collision in the back row for Purdue. Ulrich will send it over. Beth again. Hart. Look out. Well, I thought she had it.
Right up by Zimmerman.
Back row by Alexi. It's still alive. Purdue saves it. Michigan can't believe it. The joust, and Karpiak puts the nail down.
And Karpiak fighting through on that one with all this emotion going on. That's the exact way that you want to end this. But look at Miller with the pancake. They keep the ball alive. And right now, Karpiak's going to put the ball down.
Oh, the line drop serve, the block of the net, it's still alive. Karpiak, well, the joust, did she touch the net? They say no. And the inside ball throw for Purdue.
I think that ball hit inside the 2-foot line, Randy. Showing once again, these seniors on Purdue, they did not want to lose this game.
Again, we played just to 15 in the 5th set, but you have to win by 2. Purdue up by 4. 1 point away from match point. Can Michigan hang on? Can Purdue make the statement? Karpiak with the swing. And it goes off the block, and Michigan gets the point. It's now 13-10. Donna comes back in to serve. They're strengthening the back row now for Michigan with Pants and Donna. They're slow. Hard try for the gun. Parkett missed it.
Parkett gets a little too forward on that one. The Simba pushed too far for her to do anything with that ball.
Trying to let you know. It is match point number 1 for Purdue. Michigan has already exhausted their timeouts. It has come down to this. Michigan needs to go on a streak of 4. Purdue just needs one before that to ice it. Zimmerman. Cross court. Michigan gets the ball. They're alive at 14-11.
I could see Coach Sundell say, calm down, you're in the net, it's okay, let's get this point.
Brock comes back in to play the front row. Bush in to serve. Match point number 2. Coming our way, and sailing wide. Now it's 14-12. Michigan needs 2 more. Timeout. Coach Sundell and the Boilermakers. Probably talk some strategy, but I think you alluded to it. It's just the time when you tell the team, cleansing, just relax and put your hands.
This is where your coach tells you, we've been in this situation, you're in this situation in practice every single day. You just need to take a deep breath, terminate the ball. Right now, Purdue, they have to end this right now. There cannot be a 13-point for Michigan.
Is it Berlau? Is it Lynch? Who do you go to right now if you're Boilermakers?
If I'm the coach, I go to Lynch. That's what I would do.
And if you're Michigan, how do you answer?
You have to put up the block. You have to know that Coach Rosen is telling them that Lynch is going to get the ball, that the middle blocker has to be there, and that people need to help her on the outside and right side.
Dr. Colin Rizzo standing by in the studios with Big Ten tonight. It is just around the corner as soon as we finish this one. First one to 15, but you have to win by 2. Both teams, as we mentioned, 18-5. The thick of things for, in essence, spots 2 through about 6. Big Ten. Michigan dominated early, taking the first 2, had to struggle in set number 2. Then Purdue came back, sets 3 and 4 respectively. Lynch feeling the confidence. She's got a smile on her face, as does Hart. The Wolverines have something left in their tank. Down by 2. Maggie Bush to serve again. Touch at the net by Brock, pushed over by Zimmerman. Can't find the opening in the back row. It's a foul. Oh, it's hammered down by Lynch. Set, and they went to it. Lynch comes through, and Stephanie ends this match, and Purdue gets the victory by taking set number 5, 15-12. What a comeback by the Boilermakers. Losing the first 2 sets, they bounce back to win the victory in 5, winning 25-17, 25-18, and 15-12 in the 5th set. And for Michigan boy, they have been all on the court the last 2 nights, playing a 5-setter last night, and again 5 sets tonight. Look at this one more time. Good get in the back row, and then watch the termination there by Lynch. And you think she's happy? She could have jumped out of Holloway Gymnasium. She gets the point. The kill goes to her, and Purdue makes a statement now as they improve to 8-4 in the Big Ten. They're now 19-5 overall. Michigan falls to 18-6, and now at 508 play at 6-6. And Coach Sundell has to be very happy with his team's performance. Let's talk about Western. Like we had an easier match on Friday. They bounced back tonight, being down 2 sets, taking 3 in a row to get the victory. And it's a happy group of Boilermakers, and one of them is standing by with Elizabeth, and that is Ms. Lynch. Elizabeth, take it away.
All right, I know you're excited. You were down 0-2 sets. How did you guys do it? We just kept fighting. I can't thank my teammates enough. It was so awesome to be out there. It was so much fun. And, you know, after the first 2 games, we were ahead of the first game, and it was so close in the second game. But we just knew we had to stay confident in ourselves. And we just came out and it was awesome.
All right, 20 kills. I know you're going to say it was because of Kelly Miller, but talk about your performance.
I mean, I have so many people around, great people around me. We have so many players that are getting so much better too, and our defense was awesome, and Hart is setting the ball great, and our outsides were amazing too. I mean, I thought everybody was so good tonight.
All right, thank you. Great match. Randy?
She was honorable mention last year. She should be an All-American this year. She comes up with a big point. They get the victory, 15-12.